Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Tracy from Bump in the Night Productions. I'm just taking a break from editing. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about an investigation we did last night. I'm sure Lou's probably still feeling quite overwhelmed from it. I'm still kind of spinning out a bit from it because it was, when you go to do something and you have in mind what you're going to do, then you get there and you're not in control of anything. That's what happened with us. So anyway, we decided last night to go to Mitcham Cemetery in the old section. One of my nana's dear friends is actually interred there with her mum and dad, and her two brothers were killed in France during the war. So not only that, it is just an amazing old part of the cemetery. It's mind-blowing. It's just amazing. If you love cemeteries, go and have a look in the old section at Mitcham. It's just outstanding. So anyway, we got there last night and we thought we'll just do a couple of hours. It was a Sunday night. I'd been busy editing all day, had a really great bout of insomnia, so kind of had not had sleep for over 24 hours, so I was, bouncing around on fumes. I was okay, but yeah, I actually got some sleep last night, which was really good. So we thought, we'll just go for a couple of hours because you don't want to be late. I'm home from work today. This is my day off. I thought I'll do some editing, get some stuff done here, which I've been doing. Again, I digress, sorry. Plus, I think Lou was working today anyway. And so we got there and we started taking some photos and then, got into finding a spot where we're going to sit down and do our intro and stuff, which we did. And you'll see that in the video when I put it up in a couple of days. It's alright, my cat is deciding whether he's going to start scratching. He's got allergies. And I think, for the most part, with all the herbal treatments and stuff I have him on, because don't do it. I think it's become habit now because I've actually got some special allergy powder that I can put on his coat too, which is all natural stuff, but it leaves his coat feeling a bit coarse and he doesn't like it. So as soon as he starts going overboard with scratching, I say, stop scratching or I'll get the allergy powder, and he stops. So he's just walked off into the bedroom. Again, digressing, sorry. So anyway, we are there. It's about 9, just after 9, I think. Atmosphere in there was just amazing. I heard a few things in there. Now, this is the place where I have taken 2 cameras in on a previous investigation with Bernie, Lou and Ashlyn, and when I walked in a particular area of this old part, my first camera just malfunctioned completely. Hadn't even been in there 5 minutes. Had to sit down, get my second camera going. That started to play up. When I moved away from this particular area, my second camera worked fine. And at the end of the night, we walked back through the way we came. As soon as I got up to this particular corner again, my second camera fritzed out. Wouldn't turn on. Couldn't turn it on. Couldn't do anything with it. So I thought, right, it's good that we've come in the entranceway away from that particular corner. I think up in that particular area there is a high energy. I wouldn't be surprised if it may be a portal or a doorway. Funny about that, we'll get to that. So Lou's having a seat and, we start talking and doing the intro. I filmed and got her to do the intro. Then my camera started to malfunction. And when I say malfunction, boy. Needless to say, my camera was turning on and off by itself. It was taking photos by itself. It was even towards the end of the night when it did it again, responding when I was asking whoever it was, and we're pretty sure we know who it was now, if he wanted to take photos of Lou, to which straight away, one after the other, photo after photo after photo. And just to prove to Lou that I was not doing anything, I didn't have it on a timer, nothing. I had my hand underneath the gimbal and my other hand away from it, and she could actually see that it wasn't me and the camera was taking photos of her. I addressed the spirit involved. Okay, if I move my camera off for Lou and move the camera over here and focus the camera over to another part of the cemetery, do you want to take photos? No. As soon as I put it back on Lou, away it went again. It was mapping like someone was standing next to her, standing behind her. When she was sitting down earlier, it was mapping down on the ground near her bag, mapping up near behind her. I'm getting chills on my arms as I talk about this. So, and then we had some really relevant stuff coming through. And at first we weren't too sure whether it was pertaining to, you know, a spirit there within the cemetery who might have just recently lost someone, because the word mourning came up. And funny about that, so Lou had ghost tube going and the word mourning came up. Now, I didn't see how it was spelled, so it could have been morning as in daybreak, morning, or mourning as in mourning for the loss of someone. Well, it was the latter. Without me even realising which spelling it was and which, you know, what the wording meant, I've just come out and said, I'm so sorry, you know, are you on the other side in spirit, and are you now mourning the loss of someone who's recently passed in our realm to yours, and maybe you haven't connected with them yet or something? And Lou said to me after, she said, did you realise you didn't see how that was spelled? For all you know, that could have been daybreak morning. But she said it was actually morning, like as in the morning of the loss. And I'm like, I just knew what it was. So anyway, we asked if we could do a investigation or do a communication session in this area, and it said don't. Few times I'm pretty sure I heard the odd footsteps around us, and I shone a torch and did call out and say, look, you know, if that's someone here in spirit, that's cool. If you're a human lurking around, I'm going to kick your ass. That's my favourite little saying that I do when we're not quite sure. So anyway, after a little bit of deliberation, we decided to go and do a session down near Auntie Pat's, which we did. So I got the balls and the K2 meter out, and there wasn't a lot going on with Auntie Pat that night. No balls got lit up, nothing. Again, we could hear what sounded like approaching sort of footsteps occasionally near us. And Lou had the ghost tube on, and I had ghost tube on as well, and I was recording myself talking and seeing what would come through. And when I was recording, so I had it facing me, so if I play it back on, when I play it, you'll see it in the video. The screen flipped round so it was looking at Lou. And the word jacket came out, which really spun Lou out, because jacket was a very significant word in relation to her loved one that's passed. And meanwhile, her ghost tube keeps saying, sister, 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 9 times in total, sister. Now, in the beginning, we thought it might have been something to do with Auntie Pat, because I thought she had a sister, but no, it wasn't. It used to be her sister-in-law that used to come and stay with her when I was little. I remember that. And then I thought, is it relation to my kids? Is it relation to something else? And then these other words started coming through. And I said to Lou, I think this is for you. I don't think it's got anything to do with the spirits who are here at this cemetery. This is to do with you. And I believe this started on Halloween. We were talking about certain things that she had done and made as a child. And a couple of interesting words came up that night when we were in Kaipo Forest, which I think were pertaining to her. And I actually said to her that I think this is for you. This is you. So did a communication session with the necrophonic, kept the ghost tube going, did a voice recording, and I have got some a couple of disembodied voices in the voice recording. I haven't run it through yet to see what it is, but it's definitely sounds male. And it's when Lou and I were stuffing around and having a bit of a joke about stuff, something that her family member would completely understand. And there seems to be responses at the appropriate time when I was saying stuff in regards to Lou. So another interesting point. This is not all necessarily running in order. I'm sort of going off the top of my head from what I remember last night. So then after we did all that, I said to Lou, I'm going to do a pendulum session for her. It will not be in the video. This is something private for her to keep. This has been a very, very emotional issue for Lou for a long time. And she has only recently started to be more open in understanding how it has affected her. And obviously how this has affected her loved one who's no longer here. So I did a pendulum session for her, which was quite interesting, and she's going to keep that for herself. So then we decided, after we'd been there a couple of hours and completely just not had anything go the way we wanted it to go because someone else was clearly running the show, we thought, okay, we'll do a few more photos and we'll head out. So I took some more photos. Got some amazing... I did call out to the spirits that were there and asked them, please show yourselves and show up in my photos, whether it be in the form of apparition or in orbs, whatever. Got some beautiful stuff. Then I turned the camera towards Lou again, and guess what? My camera fritzed out again. It went berserk. So again, I said to Lou, my camera's taking photos of you again. She's like, what? I said, yep. I said, again, watch this. I said, again, I moved it around towards a tree. Said, if you want to take a photo, go for it. Nothing. It was in perfect focus. Put it back on Lou. Went nuts. So I guess the story here is someone very, very dear to Lou, who she loves and misses very much, has finally broken through the veil and I feel has made contact with her. Completely blew us away. The responses we were getting out of the blue were nothing short of amazing. Some of this footage will be included in the video when I put it up. Some of it won't be because I think that it was such an overwhelming experience, not just for me, but for Lou. I think, she needs time to process this stuff. So another interesting thing was too, when we were sitting at Auntie Pat's and we were getting this stuff coming through for Lou, I heard footsteps to my right, which was near Auntie Pat's, and when I shone the torch over there, almost immediately after I took the torch away, the word bright came up on GhostTube. Say what you want. A lot of people don't believe in certain apps and stuff. If Spirit can manipulate a spirit box and manipulate a Ouija board and pendulums and other forms of communication, ITC communication, which is basically what the few apps that we use are based on, ITC communication. Spirit Box is ITC communication. Another great example of ITC communication is Gary Gorka. Go and check him out. He has made amazing communication devices for the paranormal world based on the fact that his daughter Mel, one of his daughters Mel, died several years back. He was already heavily involved in the paranormal anyway, and that's where the Mel meter comes from. So if you ever buy a Mel meter from Gary Gorka, that Mel meter is made in honour of his daughter Mel, who died. To this very day, years later, to this very day, Mel is still active in their home. They ended up selling the home that they were living in when Mel died, but Mel still comes to visitate her father and mother. She's still felt at family events. The bond with her and her father has never been broken. I believe the bond with Lou and her family member has never been broken. However, he has just found it a little bit harder to let himself be known. And I think last night he has done that. And I feel very privileged to have been a part of it. And I also feel very privileged in the knowing that Lou was completely blown away. She was overwhelmed, she was happy, she was sad, I'm sure she was a mixture of many things. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know that that was what happened to us last night. It was just super amazing, and I hopefully will have that video out in the next few days. Also, our first episode of Murder in the Burbs will be coming out shortly as well. Won't tell you who it's about. We're going to do a 6-part series on that. We've done 2 already, so it's just finding time to get the other 4 done. Plus, we've got another project that we are going to be working on. Plus, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway, but you'll probably hear it in the second episode of Murder in the Burbs. Lou and I are going to be doing a podcast. Really excited. So grown up of us, isn't it? So, yeah, it'll just basically be our usual ridiculousness that is us in podcast form too. So, yeah. Anyway, I got to go back and finish editing. So wherever you are in the world, I wish you peace, love, harmony, prosperity. Remember, tomorrow's never promised. Do the best you can. Live your best life. We will see you very, very soon. Mwah. Peace out. Bye.